Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder if a single conversation could make a real difference when you are feeling down? Well, this new study from Uganda explores just that. Imagine you are feeling depressed and you reach out for help, but the waitlist for therapy is incredibly long, weeks, maybe even months. That is a tough spot to be in, and it can often make things worse. That is the big problem researchers wanted to tackle in Uganda, a country facing a huge need for mental health support with very limited resources. They wondered if a brief, one-time support session could help people while they wait for longer-term therapy. They partnered with an organization called StrongMinds Uganda, which already does great work providing group therapy for depression. But even with their efforts, people still face these frustrating waits. So the idea was to test a single session consultation or SSC service. Think of it as a quick focus check designed to offer some immediate relief and practical steps. What is cool about single session interventions or SSEs is that they're designed to be helpful even if it is the only support someone ever gets. They're not about solving everything, but about making a meaningful positive change, even in just one meeting. And the research shows that these kinds of brief interventions can be really effective, especially in places where getting ongoing care is tough. This specific SSC is based on something called solution-focused brief therapy. The idea is to help people identify what is bothering them, imagine a future where that problem is gone, and then figure out just one small step they can take to get closer to that better future. So how did they test this? Almost 200 adults who were seeking help from StrongMinds Uganda and had symptoms of depression were offered this single session consultation. They got this session either one-on-one or in a small group. Before the session and then again 2 weeks and 1 month later, they were asked questions about how they were feeling, specifically about their depression, their hopelessness, and their sense of control or agency over their problems. To make sure the intervention was delivered properly, the people providing the consultations were trained lay providers. This is a big deal because it means the service can be delivered by people who aren't necessarily highly specialized mental health professionals, making it more scalable. They even had a clear guide and supervision to ensure they were doing it right. Now, for the exciting part, what did they find? The results were pretty amazing. Those who received the SSC reported feeling significantly less hopeless and more in control of their problems right after the session. And this wasn't just a short-term boost. 2 weeks later, their depressive symptoms had gone down significantly. And it got even better by the 1 month follow-up. Their depressive symptoms were even lower. And they also reported much less hopelessness. This means that even a single brief conversation seemed to have a lasting positive impact on how people were feeling. And this wasn't just about feeling a little better. The effect sizes, which are like a measure of how big the change was, were quite large. For example, a Ndeezi of -1.12 for depression at the 2-week follow-up is a really strong result. People in the study really liked the service too. When asked to rate how helpful it was, they gave it a very high score, an average of 4.47 out of 5. They felt it helped them create an action plan, they were hopeful that plan would work, and they felt motivated to use it. Many also said they would recommend it to others. Interestingly, it didn't really matter if they had the session one-on-one or in a group. The positive effects were seen in both formats, which is great news for making it flexible. So, what does this all mean? This study shows that a brief, single-session consultation can be a really valuable tool for people struggling with depression, especially in places like Uganda where getting help is a challenge. It is acceptable, it appears effective in reducing symptoms, and it can be delivered by trained lay providers, making it scalable. The fact that the intervention had even stronger effect in this low-resource setting compared to some previous studies in wealthier countries is also really important. It suggests that these kinds of accessible interventions can be particularly impactful where mental health resources are scarce. It is like a double win. It helps people directly and it helps build capacity for mental health support. Now, like any study, there are limitations. The biggest one is that there wasn't a control group. This means they can be absolutely certain that the improvements were only due to the SSC, and not just because people were getting any kind of attention or because their problems would have naturally gotten better over time. That is called regression to the mean also. Having independent people assess the outcomes rather than the same providers who delivered the session would have been even better, and the sample was mostly female, so we need to be a little careful about generalizing to everyone. But even with these limitations, this is a really promising start. It gives us solid evidence that a simple single-session approach can make a real difference in people's lives. Imagine if this kind of service could be widely available globally for anyone waiting for longer-term support. It could truly help close that gap between needing mental health care and actually receiving it. Future research will likely focus on larger studies. Maybe comparing the SSC to other types of brief interventions to really hone in on how it works best and for whom. This research truly highlights the power of a well-designed single interaction to create positive change. It gives us hope for more accessible mental health solutions worldwide. What do you think? Could a single session make a difference for you or someone you know? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more insights into the fascinating world of psychology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.